You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 393 of East Central's favorite podcast. I am Jeremiah Morrell, joined by executive video producer, audio engineer, race fan, car guy, Mr. Zach Burcham.
Good evening.
So excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So is he.
Yeah, that's his Wednesday voice. We got Forrest Plank in a co-host chair. Forrest is noted for being a Malort drinker and a fan of the Indy 500 since 1943.
Something like that.
A Malort enthusiast.
Enthusiast.
No,
yes.
no, I won't even claim that one.
It has been less than 32 minutes since he's had his last shot of Malort.
It'll be 32 years before I have my next.
Mr. Bones, welcome.
Howdy.
You're looking mighty impressive in that Boss Hog merch.
Thank you. I might have sweated in it all day, but it's fine.
Did you wear it driving the big brown truck?
I did.
No kidding.
Yeah.
With that big sticker on there?
Yeah.
You didn't have to wear like a big brown overshirt or anything?
No, I just wore a brown polo over top of it.
You're telling, all right.
So you weren't actually rocking the brand to all the customers.
I was.
What do we have to do to put a BHOL sticker on the big brown truck? Just on the right rear corner panel.
You're going to have to call Lana.
Oh, God. I'm not doing that.
No, just put one on a magnet, and every day when you walk out to your truck, just slap it on there.
What the day I forget to bring it back.
We'll bring you another one.
Well, who the hell did that?
Yeah.
Where would be
those terrorists?
Where would be the best place to slap a sticker on a UPS truck so that the driver didn't see it, but other people could?
Well, they probably have to do a circle for safety every time they enter their vehicle.
It'd be really funny to put a FedEx sticker on a UPS truck.
We are also joined by my forever co-host, Mr. Dakota Davis. Welcome back to your show, sir.
Thank you.
When was the last episode that you were on?
I don't remember.
It was pretty recent.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I meant to take a look today, but I got busy.
This calendar year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's done. I think this is like the third or fourth one this calendar year for our all-star student. Dakota?
Maybe third. Maybe.
What do we have planned on the show today?
Today's episode features the four of us. We're going to be talking to all of you about State Road 3 and the annoyance of what we have with the orange barrels, Indiana State Flower. Then we also have the Pope. We have federal officials can do what they want now. It's one of the headers, so make sure you stick around for that. And then we have it's a slow news day, so we're going to be talking about time zones in Indiana and Pete Rose. And then we're, of course, going to be talking about sports because Jeremiah wrote the show notes.
Because I did this without adult supervision, and the thing we had planned has been delayed.
It has.
So that's what we're going to do. This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. But hopefully you'll always learn something new. Mr. Bones.
Howdy.
Who do we have to say thank you to for the Patreon?
We got Jonathan Phillips over there at Wetzel Ford in Richmond, Indiana.
He can hook up Dakota Davis with his brand new Ford F-150.
Not going to happen. I got a baby on the way. I'm not buying a new truck right now.
You can get yourself an SUV with extra seats.
Or a minivan.
Maybe a minivan with those sliding doors.
I'd love
Get yourself a Ford Aerostar.
I would love it.
You're going to hear those from a mile away.
Maybe an Econoline 150.
Oh, there you go. Customized.
And a color television set.
With seats that recline.
Just call John Phillips over at Wetzel Ford in Richmond. You take 38 there. You don't even have to get on the interstate.
He's sold me many vehicles in the past.
Yeah.
If push comes to shove, and our friend of the show that we've had on the podcast before, Justin Lowhorn, says that it's not worth the money, then I may be calling John Phillips. Who knows?
Then where we go. Who else do we have to say thank you to, Mr. Bones?
We have Blake Reese over there at Varsity Outfitters.
Ooh, he outfitted you and I today
He did.
with the sexy Boss Hog swag.
Then we got Thomas Oakes over at Walnut Ridge and RV.
Yes.
Not and RV, just Walnut Ridge RV.
Yeah, they don't sell you trees. They just sell you RVs.
Yeah.
You can buy a whole ridge of walnut trees or a camper. Your
They might
choice.
sell you trees.
I mean, I heard, listen, this may
price
not
is
be
right.
true, but I heard that if you buy one of their Brinkleys, it comes with a free tree.
Okay.
Little oak tree.
What's a break?
What's a Brinkley?
That's one of their top campers, man. You got a sponsor like Walnut Ridge RV. You got to know the line. You know the lineup. Zach, they sell passports.
Yep.
Brinkleys.
I think
What's
they
So I can
might
go there and get my passport updated?
Yeah, you get your stamp.
Okay.
they might be Indiana's. I think they're like one of Indiana's only passport dealers. I've been happy with my 2 passports.
And I'll say this with Walnut Ridge RV. You drive by Walnut Ridge RV and you see campers as God intended them to be made. You drive by Camping World and it's all just behemoths that you ought to have a CDL to drive. And those are there to get you locked into a very steep payment.
Or
You see the Walnut Ridge RV, you see fifth wheels, you see 28-foot pull behinds, you see ultralight pull behinds, you see campers, okay? That's what we want to see at our camping
campers
store.
you can afford to buy and use and not have to work all
That's
the time
right.
to pay for.
That's
But you
it.
don't see the little teardrop retro.
Oh, they got the
pastel
retro.
colors.
I think they got
They
With,
got some
with the
retro
pastel
stuff.
colors?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They got it all,
daggone.
man. They got it all. In case you need to buy one before your big trip to Mid-Ohio,
I don't need to buy one.
call up Tommy Oakes. Who else do we have to say thank you to, Mr. Bones?
we got mom and dad. Mom's cleaning dead people.
No, that's not explicitly what she told you.
It's not.
Moral
but
monument cleaning. The dead people stay in the ground. You just
Yeah.
clean the stone.
Yeah.
Well, you've got dead friends, don't
Cleaning
you?
dead people's stones.
Yeah.
Joyce is
That's a little
cleaning
dirty.
headstones?
Yeah, moral monument cleaning.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
absolutely.
There's somebody that's been cleaning. Has she been up around Spiceland at the Friends Cemetery?
She works in all of East Central Indiana.
I
So if
noticed-
you have a loved one over there, she can come out and take care of it.
I noticed taking a walk, somebody had been cleaning some of the real old ones recently. Thought that was pretty neat.
And our final sponsor in the $50 or more a month Patreon club is
Pops Recycle.
right there in Rushville, your hometown.
Hometown.
What could Pops Recycle sell me, Mr. Bones?
He could sell you a 1972 Schwinn
Made in Chicago,
made in Chicago.
home of
Malort.
the Pope,
Yes.
a Chicago Schwinn, the Pope, and some Malort. The trifecta,
The trifecta.
Pope, the Bears.
the bike. So support those guys. They get us on the air each and every week. We appreciate that very much. If you are a patron at any level, you get added to the super secret Facebook group. You help us keep the bills paid. You get extra access to things. Show notes dropped into that Facebook group each week, and it's a good time. Little extra,
It's a time. Okay. It's a time. That's
just little extras.
I had to get a water. I'm still tasting them.
If
There's
you
a
are
few
not,
more everything chips.
if you are not a regular Patreon listener, it is worth signing up to get in that Facebook group just to watch the video of the Malort tasting that happened 40 minutes ago. Forrest is forever changed. He's normally
He
happy
loved it.
I may be forever sober now.
and speaking and
And if you haven't got, and that video is great. And then go back to the OG and go look up the video of Dakota's first attempt at a gender reveal when he shot himself with like a pellet gun. And
yeah, you robbed us of that. By the way, you buried the lead. You're gonna be a dad again, 2.0.
2.0.
But you already made the baby the announcement. There's no gender reveal in this.
I didn't.
Nobody was wounded.
I made no announcements. So the original idea was that we were not going to tell anybody but our siblings and parents, and just have people come across to Audrey as she was
Just thickening up.
swelling up, and it was like, but
I'm the bad guy.
Oh,
But
you're getting slapped. You're getting slapped.
she was so excited about a girl that she had to make a Facebook post about it. So, but yeah, I thought it was a funny plan to just like,
Oh, I'm I'm fully on board with denying it. So there's an IndyCar driver that had a child. They made their announcement on Mother's Day, on Sunday. Their kid was born on Wednesday. They never told the world they were pregnant.
How did they
Kids
hide
there.
it?
People just
didn't think
mind
of
their
that.
own. They mind their own damn business.
She just
Good
stayed
for
at
them.
home for 9 months.
And now you don't know how the child identifies anymore.
Sweatshirt season. You just just hide it. I don't know, but they did it. I think
Yeah.
you just deny the whole thing. It
Yeah.
just gaslight them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've been putting on weight. Don't shame me.
She's got diabetes.
Yeah.
Type 2.
Diabetes.
This is the yeah. No, I thought it was a really. We thought it was a really.
As a
funny
guy,
thing.
I'm not going to ask a woman if she's pregnant unless the baby's half hanging out.
No, so
Yeah,
she
well,
said that
We're
she
all up here
saw
talking about this topic that
you.
none of us would bridge outside of here.
She said that she
Oh, I
saw
probably
Zach. Audrey did, and this was before she made the Facebook post, and it was like she was showing pretty good, but like it was still sweater weather. And I don't remember where she said that she saw you, but she said she was with Jackson and you were with your Jackson.
Oh, did she
And-
do the dinosaur thing? No, maybe not.
No, it wasn't that.
Where did I see? Yeah, I remember running into her somewhere.
But anyway, she was like, I wonder if he noticed. And I was like, he's not going to say anything
I
if
mean,
he did.
I no, I'm not. We have a coworker that is like, I have a coworker that's she's probably 7 or 8. She's close to like, and I asked another coworker, I was like, is there somebody pregnant in our unit?
You don't even want to be accused.
No, because it's just it can go very, very wrong. So yeah, I don't ask.
I haven't learned my lesson yet on that one. I just come out and ask.
My dad
I
said
find that hard to believe.
my dad
Well, that's
said
because
that
every
one
social
time.
situation Bones is in, he's drinking, and they're like, "Why is the girl not drinking? You preggers?"
My dad said that one time he was at
Have
the
some more.
bank and the bank teller was in front of him. There was a wall in conversation. He just said, "So what do you do?" And she goes, "I'm not pregnant."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
Well, you probably need to check on that.
Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on the fatherhood.
Times 2.
Do we?
What does 2.0 do?
August 15th.
Do we get to have a Boss Hog poll to name your child?
It's already done.
I mean, I feel like we could listen. Patreon, $100 a month. We'll try our best.
We're
to
still in
convince Audrey.
conversations about the middle name.
See, we can win something.
See? Or a pool on the actual birth date.
I really want the middle name to be Aster because it's a name of a wildflower that blooms here, and Jackson loves to pick them. So it's like that's a good. That would be a good one.
It's very close to Astrid.
But Audrey said she doesn't want any names that have the ass in it.
ass. You're making a real ass.
Says
Stir of yourself.
that's fair, but yeah, we were gonna name her Jillian so that we could have a Jack and Jill. But then it was like that might.
What if they fell down a
would-
hill?
Well, they might hate us. For
How about
that
Diane?
eventually?
I think the last Diane was born in 1986.
Yeah.
I don't think
Hey,
that name's been used for a minute.
But here's the story about him.
Little ditty.
a little ditty.
Yeah.
Not a story, a little
Just-
ditty.
it's just a little
Sucking
ditty.
on a corn dog.
Chili dog.
State Road 3. Anybody driven on it?
Nope.
The big update was that we were going to have 4 days of normalcy. That did not happen.
Today was my first time going over where they patched for the stormwater
It's
drain,
pretty crappy job.
and it
didn't
was
they?
like boom, 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 boom.
There's standing water.
It's
on it today.
temporary.
That's a
I thought-
temporary patch.
and then
They're
I
gonna
was like,
repave over it.
Holy crap, they did awful
Okay.
on that. And then I
Aren't-
thought, well, I guess it doesn't matter, does it?
Just wait until they start
Oh,
plowing.
Okay,
in
but
the
aren't they
winter.
going to fix it next year?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
really?
phase 2.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it
phase
is
2.
phase 2.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
everything they're going to do right now is north of Trojan or north of Q, depending on what part of town you're in. As is the history of the show, north of Q and south of Q get completely different treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put in a curb, and it looks like a kid made it with like it's a sandcastle curb. Like and there's water standing on it today from rain today, so they didn't make it drain. So it's yeah.
So snow and melting snow and ice will be really awesome.
So
Yeah.
the fun part is that they put the barrels out, and they have the northbound lanes are now traffic controlled. So there's only one of the 3 northbound lanes available. They went out, I think, on Sunday night, maybe Monday night. And immediately, because it's planting season, some very large tractors and farm equipment were coming through. And the community groups of Henry County were getting us all of the camera angles of the barrels getting mowed down. Just dump, 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 dump.
I love that.
All the way down the corner.
I love that.
And not a sympathetic comment in them on any of the posts.
Zach,
towards
you
the
called them
barrels.
heroes, I believe.
Yeah, no heroes wear capes. Yeah, because like you see it, I don't understand, and this is an echo on my already complaint about the way NDOT handles construction. Is you put the barrels out when you start the work. You do not need to unduly cripple traffic flow for a week, and then eventually you'll get Tim and Jim out there, and they'll stand around with their thumbs up their asses for a couple of days until they start something. That's what you get when you do it. Like the same thing on 70. There's barrels out, and there's no work getting done.
You know why it happens? Because the contractor doesn't put the barrels out.
The subcontractor.
The contractor has somebody that they say, hey, I need you to put barrels out by Thursday. And they're like, all right, well, send our guys out Monday morning, and they'll put the barrels out, and then it's done, and they don't have to worry about it. But then they're going to sit there for 3 days until the next people.
Yeah, until
they won't sit there because
a tractor
Cade ran them all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how much tractor traffic actually goes down that road, but I think it tripled the day the barrels went out because everybody thought, well, I'm already hooked up to the planner. Let's see what destruction we can create.
And they're certainly not going to go down Main Street.
That brought me to why I wanted to talk about this. I don't know what the right answer is. Where the hell are they supposed to go?
The official detour is 300 south to 103 to 38.
Sure.
I'd like to see him go down Broad Street.
Sure. Yeah. You tell me where they're taking a 15-foot wide tractor and planter down Broad Street.
I think orange barrels are cheaper to replace than all the parked cars along Broad Street.
For today, but it's not going to work in a week when they have cars on the other side. That's where it's going to actually be a real problem. Is that when there are cars in between, because you're gonna yeet those barrels straight into front of Dakota when he's just trying to come to the studio.
Yep.
So I don't know what the right answer is.
It is a mess, though. I hadn't been down. I heard people talk about it. I'm like, well, I'd turn left off of Bundy, and that's like one of the last roads before that kind of work. And I was like, what is this mess? And I kind of had to get halfway across. They effectively took the turn lane out, and I guess there's been a lot of accidents because they didn't put anything down, so people don't really know or aren't prepared for the fact that
they can't turn.
Yeah, or they can't turn, or if they do turn, they're stopping traffic like behind them. So the people I think are coming up behind them and just hitting them. So
I think it was Friday night I came into town on 38, turning south on 3, and had there not been a car in front of me, I don't know that I would have known where to actually drive.
Oh, that's a true thing. Sometimes you make a turn. I turned off at 38, and I took it real slow this morning because I was like, where am I supposed to be?
Which barrels am I supposed to be
which
in
side of the
between?
barrels am I supposed to be on?
Good luck turning left across traffic right now, too.
Yeah.
Because they've taken the turnway lanes away.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah. Like I said, nothing's happened yet with the barrels. I understand the barrels being adjacent to the road. Like throw them on the curb. I don't get them in the middle of the road, but whatever.
Just remember, this is as good as it's going to be for the next 2 years, guys. This is still the best.
I did roll down 3, the new section 3 over the patch that looks like something Lightning McQueen did on his first round in Radiator Springs. And then I reminded myself that this is actually one of the worst stretches of pavement in the state of Indiana between 300 and Raleigh Road. And I don't really want to drive on it ever because there's a couple of holes that have been there so long but are so deep that there's just permanently a cone on the storm drain.
Yeah.
Because the storm drains are so deep that if you hit it, you will not drive away. And it's been like that for years.
I don't think this stretch of 3 is any worse than 70 east of here.
I don't go on 70 east of here.
So Zach and I towed our campers to the Speedway last week, to and from on I-70. I honestly thought driving westbound towards Indianapolis was okay. It was tolerable.
Yeah.
Eastbound is no different.
Eastbound was a disaster.
Yes. Yeah.
It was an absolute disaster.
When we got there,
I was thankful when we got back to the Spiceland exit that Zach was there and safely dumping at the Flying J.
Yeah.
Because I was certain somebody was going to be broken.
Yeah. Because there's even a spot. I try to memorize where the hot spots are for my commute, and I was like, try to make sure. But I was like, on the way back, there are spots where I don't understand how they didn't do it. They literally sent a crew out and were doing lane closures like a month or so ago to fix some of these spots. But there's still spots where the road is just, kind of collapsing. And so it's not, you can't avoid it. It's not a pothole. It's sections of concrete that are broken in half or broken into thirds and form a dip or a rise, whatever. And that is the stuff. Like, potholes are one thing.
I think there's like a cave underneath that section of road.
Yeah, but there's
the official term is a karst.
Yeah.
A karst.
Is there?
Karst.
Oh, is that what that is?
C-A-R-S-T-E.
It's old Indian burial.
It's a big void in the ground. A karst.
But that's the stuff that scares me with a trailer, because that's the stuff that will unload the entire trailer and then bring it crashing back down in suspension all at one time
with full black tanks.
With full tanks, in the back where it doesn't want to be. And in this case, with full fresh tanks, because we don't usually drain them to come back. So there's still several of those coming back the other way, and there's no good way with a trailer to go from Knightstown exit to Newcastle exit.
It is 7 miles of pure hell.
Yeah,
7 miles of pure hell.
Yep, and that section is still a lot better than if you go past the 123.
Yep.
Jeremiah and I talked about that over the weekend, though. Between 123 and whatever the New Lisbon
131.
Yeah.
You never see it.
I don't know
it's
what that
not
looks
that
like.
bad.
I know, but I don't ever see it, because if I'm going east, if I have a trailer, first of all, I'm just taking like 35 or 38 or whatever. I'm going to almost to Ohio. But other than that, I'll take New Lisbon Pike and hop on there. So the section between New Lisbon and Spiceland, I don't ever see.
Are you Donald Trump? Did you just rename Dublin Pike as New Lisbon Pike?
Sure, I did.
You know what place doesn't have these problems?
Anywhere.
Every other state.
The Vatican.
Dakota would like to move on. Yeah, he has a pot roast in.
Because they don't have roads.
Roman roads, huh?
Yeah.
Roman roads. Been
So-
there for millennia.
So we did preview a couple weeks ago when Francis expired. Is that the way we want to say it?
He died.
Go for it.
He gone.
He's moved from this mortal coil.
He's moved on to. He's with Jesus now.
He's no longer with us.
Final ride was in a Ram pickup.
Unless
truck,
you're
by the way.
Catholic, then you think he's.
I don't think popes
he's
go
still
to
with us.
purgatory.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think popes go to purgatory.
No, that's what I'm saying. Catholics would say that, because Catholics they believe that if you talk to a saint, they can hear you because they're in heaven, not in purgatory.
Yeah, but it's not a saint yet either.
So since he's probably not in purgatory, we don't know the state of his soul.
They haven't invented anyway.
Then
We're moving on.
Then he can.
We are on to Leo. We're on to Cincinnati.
He might be here right now with us.
He's probably in Brian's office, but it's just because he broke the door handle and he can't get out.
Brian, you've trapped Francisco.
Anyway, yep, we got a new pope. We had odds. We had betting odds. We said it was 40% chance for Tagle out of wherever, and there was a Hungarian pope. We had odds on him, and this provost never came up.
Pope didn't do well.
You
I was
Jewish pope did not
pulling
win.
for pizza balla.
Yeah,
Is that
Pietro Pizzaballa,
yeah?
the Italian.
That's who I thought it was going to be him for sure.
I could have swore it was going to be the Jewish one.
Never underestimate the power of the Donald. He did that. Right?
Robert Prevost.
Yes.
I never even heard the name. However, I saw a video of a nun talking to NBC News before the conclave. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the NBC News anchor is like, "Who are you thinking?" And she goes, "I'm watching the Augustinian Cardinal, Robert Prevost." And I was like, "Holy crap. Imagine being that lady."
She called it.
She
Called
said,
it.
"I know he's an American, but I think he does have a chance."
So he's an American, but he spent like 30 years in Peru. He is a dual citizen.
Yeah, he's American. He lived more time in Peru than he did America.
It's like me. I'm a New Yorker, but I've been in Indiana longer.
Right,
That's
yeah.
me. I've been adopted by the Hoosiers.
Yeah, and then like if you listen, like if you guys have seen any of his speeches that he's given, like in Latin and Italian, it's like, is this guy American? You know, like
I don't know.
I've never met an American that's that smooth
When
with the
I
Italian.
heard him giving his "I accept" speech, Zach, you were in the truck with me.
Yeah.
As the white smoke came out, we were driving to. I was missing exits in a city on roads I built.
Yeah.
Paying attention to the Pope. He was giving his speech in Italian as an American, getting translated back to English.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of hilarious. I was like, why did he just say it in Italian and then just say it in English? But instead,
an Italian
I know that they're
audience.
giving like a dead time because whatever feed you're listening to, they're giving you the translation. But I was like, yeah, this is funny. We're listening to a guy who speaks English, speaking Italian, so they can translate it back to English.
Apparently, he's fluent in like 5 or 7 languages, or
Latin,
something.
Italian,
And he's got a master's degree in
Portuguese.
mathematics.
Yeah.
Like, the guy is obviously a genius. My favorite.
Yeah, he
has
was
been,
still a White Sox fan.
He was at the
Yes,
World
yeah.
Series game. He was on the Fox broadcast. They cut over to him as a patron in like 2005.
Yeah.
And Fox dug it up. They're like, here's Pope Leo 14 cheering on the Sox. And he's already, we're not going to get into it in sports, so we'll just say it now. He's already performed his first miracle. Shoeless Joe Jackson, no longer banned from baseball. The Black Sox scandal. Dude is back. He's been Pope for a week. Lifetime ban. Post-mortem ban over. Shoeless Joe can go in the Hall of Fame.
I've been loving the videos of his brothers
So
coming out. The one where his brother's like, we all. He's like, I used to raise Cain with my other brothers, not Robert. He wouldn't. He's like, we would always mess with him. We'd always make fun of him and say, what, are you going to be the Pope one day?
I think I heard that he started basically going to seminary schools
when he was
like,
in 8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade.
Yeah, he
This
left
guy,
home.
he entered the path he's currently on when he was 14 years old.
He was sent to Michigan.
Like
He went to
left
seminary
home,
in
yeah.
Well,
Michigan. So
Doesn't every boy at the age of around 14 determine that path?
Yeah, I guess you do. It's up or
Mom
down.
and Dad
Which way you
can't
going?
that question.
Yeah.
the brother cannot say no to a camera either.
Is this the one that's had some
neither one of them
problematic
can.
political?
The one down in
No.
Florida?
The other one.
the
one?
Chicago brother, the older brother.
Okay,
Um,
it's hilarious. He's got multiple siblings that are running around, and they're
he's
like,
got one in Florida that's full Trump. He's like, yeah, I'm going to tone down the Nancy Pelosi stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, that one was great.
And the other one is, he's just doing every media interview possible. He was at the Vatican. He flew to Rome, and NBC caught him out there.
Yeah,
He opened the door to some Indianapolis photojournalist and let him in the house when the Pope called him, and he's like, you can't record this interview. But the brother was fully on board. He's like, my 5 minutes of fame, man. Let's go.
Yeah, the interview of him in the Vatican is really funny too, because he's like, he's still the same Robert. Well, so he's a little more stressed, I think. He is the Pope. Like he kind of catches himself. He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, in public, he's really
He is
suffering.
the vicar of Christ now, I guess, and the head of state for technically a country. But yeah.
you don't
He's
think
still
about
the
the
same
Pope
guy.
having like family. Yeah, like usually most time they're pretty old, and so there's probably not a lot of family left. And in fact, this
Not many
guy,
children.
yeah, no, yeah, there could be, but I don't think it's happened yet.
Pope Francis didn't have any siblings.
Yeah,
So I read Francis's autobiography. Out of 10 stars, I'd give it a 5. It was pretty boring. I don't know what
Shocker.
I don't know what I was expecting.
You mean this
But
dude wasn't a
there was-
Motley Crew?
No Rangers.
There was no sex, no drugs, and no alcohol, and no rock and roll.
Oh, there was alcohol, wine.
no extravagant shopping trips, nothing.
I was expecting stuff about like
This dude
Like-
spent Sunday the same way every day.
I was
What's church
expecting
every freaking
stuff
day?
about what religious life was like, because he was in the Franciscan order. I was expecting stuff about what it was like in the Vatican, what it was like to be the Pope, the one guy, and it was all just like when I was a boy.
It's too modest.
Me and my friends played soccer, and then one day a dog came and bit the soccer ball, and it was a devastating moment. And you're like,
Way to sell the book, Dakota. You're just selling
all
it.
right,
That's a wonderful theatrical reading.
jeez,
You know, at least Pope John Paul's book is like, they shot me one time.
yeah, it was.
Or John Paul II.
Yeah, that was
Pope
the
John Paul
second.
wanted to be. They poisoned me.
Pope John Paul too. I've read some of the stuff that he wrote because he was a really interesting guy. I'm not Catholic, but
You can make a hell of a martini. Just shake it.
Yeah.
He used to do this.
Going straight to hell.
Yeah.
Dakota doesn't know why it's funny.
I do too. I'm just trying to move on from it. I don't want to spend an
You know who
extra
else
30
could do
years
a
in
really good one?
purgatory.
Michael J. Fox.
So you want to move on?
Anyway, Francis's book. It is the only autobiography ever written by a pope. So it's got that going for it. That's why I read it. But anyway,
So far. The next one will be written in English.
This new pope, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
I've been loving the memes. I saw one where it was like a guy he was like down on his knees in the cathedral, and you just heard a voice that said, "The body," and then he was presented with like a Portillo's Italian beef, and he's like, "Italian beef?" And he's like, "Duh, blood," and then he takes a sip of a cup, and then he immediately spits it out, and he goes, "Oh, was that Malort?" And he goes, you just hear the voice say, "Yeah." And then he goes, "Awesome."
Check Patreon.
That's just what I think America is the only country that would be like this about having a pope.
I heard there's one where
Especially a pope that's like barely American.
Oh, this is our first and last pope. Okay.
Yeah, it'll never happen. But I heard that there's one video of him walking out to the balcony in the Vatican, and it's the Chicago
Yes.
Bulls song.
And when we were listening,
yeah.
we were
That one
listening
was
to him
awesome.
walk out. I said, somebody should have this. They should have brought him out to the Chicago Bulls music. And then, like a day later, Instagram's like, here it is, interview him walking out to Chicago Bulls walkout music. And there's the other great meme was that it only took 2 days to pick a new pope, but Shadur Sanders had to wait 3 days to get drafted. And I was like, yes, there's a lot. I'm like, I do wonder if other
Popes
countries.
from Green Bay 1 or 0. Popes
Yeah.
from Chicago 1. Yeah.
Was it
Chicago
in Villanova?
I was listening to what's the name? He's the cardinal from New York City. Dolan. Yes, Cardinal Dolan.
Why don't you just pull that one
His-
right out of your ass?
His Eminence.
He's not going to correct me.
No, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Cardinal Dolan.
I only knew 2 Cardinals. I knew the one that used to be in Indianapolis that's in Newark now, which Tobin and Dolan.
Was he the one that always did the
I know a couple Cardinals, like Larry
prayer before
Fitzgerald.
the race?
He did, yeah. He did. He was the Archbishop of Indianapolis when they had exiled him. Dakota, we interrupted you.
Somebody had asked Cardinal Dolan, His Eminence, why it was only 2 days of voting. And he said, well, it's not like it used to be. We all have phones. We all have access to the internet. We all know each other pretty well by the time we're going in to vote. It's not like we're just meeting each other for the first time when we get locked into the Sistine Chapel like it used to be. I thought that was an interesting observation. Like,
Yeah. Sequestered's not really
I thought they live out
sequestered.
all right, yeah, they kind of just know.
Well,
you know?
they were sequestered, but
They're
they
supposed
had a week together to talk
Yeah,
it
they
out
had-
too.
Yeah.
But they also are all phone addicts too, and they're like, I can't get my phone
Yeah,
back till we make
yeah,
a
I
damn
think
decision.
They're supposed to, they're supposed to be taken away from them. And something
Imagine that group chat.
Or something was done to the building to like block their cell phone reception when they were locked in the chapel.
Yeah,
So that
they're-
might have been it too. Like, yo, I'm losing points on my
Did you guys-
arm or whatever. So
Who in here has watched the movie Conclave?
I did.
I heard some of them watched it
Did they
Yeah,
get-
yeah.
to
They watched
study
it going
what
in
was
'cause it
supposed
the
to
first
happen.
conclave for some of them.
Yeah,
it was-
wasn't it Dolan that talked? I think Dolan
Yeah.
talked about it
Yeah.
because he was like, "Yeah, that's not really how it was at all. We kind of do like homilies, we do mass, and we like kind of listen to conferences the whole time when we're not voting." He said that they have like people come in and give talks.
I think the
Like-
most interesting thing
Okay.
that I read about it
Said it's pretty boring.
was the engineer that is like on call nonstop until the Pope is selected to make sure that the chemical mixture is right. When the smoke comes out, it's gonna be black. It's gonna be white.
So
With
they
all
had-
the orange Trump memes, they were like, "Whatever you do not make it orange."
in the 50s, they had an incident where they were trying to make it black and it came out white in the beginning. So they were like, it was kind of a false start. So people thought they'd elected one, and then it switched black. And there was a scandal saying, "Oh, they had elected somebody, and then they
didn't like it.
They didn't like him or
Rescinded.
talked him out of taking it or whatever." So whatever.
There was a time when I was reading this the other day, in like the 1200s, I think, or maybe 1100s, 12th century. The Catholic Church went 3 years without a pope because they could not reach the 2/3 required.
That's when they
Were they
started locking
sequestered
them
the
in.
entire
Yeah.
time?
Yes.
No, that's why they
No,
started
yeah,
locking
okay.
them in.
I think that's what you
Because
They said
We're
we're
going
going to
to
force the
hold
issue.
you hostage.
literally to end it at the end of the 3 years, they locked them in the Sistine Chapel and said, "You get bread and water to subside on until we have a new pope."
So you get 2/3 vote.
So it's very interesting. I'm not Catholic. I enjoy the heck out of reading Catholic history.
Have you looked into
Yeah.
it though? Are you ready to
So-
join now because of this?
No, but
I hear it's a process.
it is. It's like a year-long process. Well, I guess
I
depending on when you
if they
start.
would have elected me. If they would have said I was the Pope, I would have done it.
It's
mean, did
literally
you
the
send-
only prerequisite.
Did you
That
send?
would have been the end of the Catholic Church.
Did you send your letter of intent?
I did. Sent my resume. Had a nice cover letter on it.
Did you apply on Indeed?
Yeah, I actually did.
Just send a nice headshot.
Yeah.
They're like,
Unfortunately, you're still 40 years too young, but we think you're a strong candidate.
There was no age limit. All it says is you had to be Catholic, and I said it's not a deal breaker.
And
I will
male.
become one.
aren't you from Rushville?
We'll still pray for
It's
you.
a very Catholic town, isn't
No,
it?
It's not.
I thought it
They have a
was.
We have
Knights
one
of-
Catholic.
It's
church.
closer
have-
to Batesville than we are.
They have a Knights
That's
of
Old
Columbus.
Burg.
You say you say that the reason it's not is because they have one Catholic church, but that's like
There's 8,000
That's-
people in the town.
That's true.
every
We have
Catholic town has one Catholic church.
my town in Messina, New York, had 2 Catholic churches. We
Well,
had
yeah, it's the
12,000
East
people.
Coast. You walk 2 blocks and there's another Catholic
we had
church.
dueling Catholic churches. I was a Catholic at the time because I was born that way.
That makes sense.
At St. Mary's, but across town was Trinity.
And I bet if a Eucharistic miracle happened in one of the churches and not the other one,
Oh,
it would have been.
Would be real trouble. Ours was the one over by Alcoa. U.S. Congressman.
Are you a Catholic or were you baptized as a Catholic?
I was.
You were for real?
Yeah.
Huh.
So you
I was an
could've-
altar boy, man.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody touched me.
that you remember.
I was rejected by the church. U.S. Congressman Jefferson Shreve made hundreds of
gosh.
stock trades since joining Congress. How long have we had Jefferson Shreve, Forrest?
I don't know.
A month or two.
January.
4 months.
Too damn long.
He's our brand new congressman.
That's how much I pay attention.
Pence retired, and we got Shreve, the storage mogul out of Indianapolis.
The guy tried to run for mayor a couple years ago.
He ran for mayor of Indianapolis, spent $20 million, lost.
Lost horribly.
He spent $13 million and won our congressional seat. He now represents our beautiful
Us.
hometowns.
So we have to
Because-
make the money back.
Because he jumped out of the city and said, "I'm going to go after you country folk with less money."
Yep.
And
Isn't that how they do it?
He beat Boss Hog alum Jeff Rotz, among others, Mike Speedy, and some more.
And then who was the Democrat that ran against him?
Nobody knows.
He was on the show.
I've already forgotten her name.
He was on the show.
Not this time.
He was on for the primary episode, wasn't he?
No, we didn't do any primary episodes this year.
Last year. It would have been last year.
You're like 8
It would have
years
been May
back.
2024.
No.
Who am I thinking of? Who is the Democrat that was running for District 6?
Years ago.
From Richmond.
That's just a waste of money.
The environmentalist.
Thursday.
No, I'm thinking of he was running against Jeff Rotz.
Yeah.
We had
It was
him
a
and
state
Rotson.
senate years ago.
Yeah, state.
Years ago.
Sorry, my bad.
Apology accepted.
Welcome back to the show.
Same part of the
See?
state, though. I'll give you that,
See?
Dakota.
Dakota came on to correct me in my mistakes, and here we are,
Full circle.
38 minutes in, and he's saying, I'm sorry. Jefferson Shreve has, as of a report published on May 13th, traded between $3.4 and $9.4 million worth of stocks in a 10-day period, April 7th to April 17th.
I'm completely shocked
That was
that someone in Congress has made money while they're in office.
Yeah.
Blown away.
right at the Liberation Day. So when the stock market took an absolute dump, he was making his trades. He sits on the House's Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and he traded on CSX Railroad, Uber, and Schneider National.
Huh, interesting. I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
So he sits on the Transportation Committee, yet his section of 70 is the absolute worst in the state.
Well, he just got it.
It worse than
it is his.
Members of Congress are allowed to buy and sell stocks if they don't violate insider trading rules. A spokesman for Shreve's congressional office said that he relies on a financial advisor to conduct his trades. He hired a professional to ensure compliance of all transactions and requirements as a member of Congress.
Is he also is he both a customer and an informant?
So he talked to
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi and Dan Crenshaw's lawyer.
He sold his company in 2022, Storage Express, for $590 million. This is just a rounding error for him, guys.
Yeah.
Whew. Good work if you can get it.
590?
$590 million.
There's
Half
that
a
much
billion.
money in storage units?
People got a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of shit.
Oh,
man.
Everywhere
yeah,
you
look
go,
at that.
there's freaking storage units.
Americans love to have more stuff than they have space for.
The storage units in cities blow me away. Like multiple level
I've got-
buildings.
Yeah.
Further up the food chain, President Trump has some ethical concerns around his next asset.
Say it and so.
He is being gifted. We as a country are being gifted a $400 million airplane from the Qatari royal family, because we have a 40-year-old jet,
Yeah.
and it's the new one that we ordered is taking too damn long, and he can fix it. And he says, "Listen, I'm going to run this plane, and then I'm going to put it in, just like Ronald Reagan did. I'm going to put it in my museum."
Have you?
I didn't think he was going to put it in the museum. I thought that they were going to take possession of it.
Yeah.
The museum will take possession of it.
Yes.
Oh, so he's not going to stop flying it.
Right.
It's a living memorial that he
Yeah.
can bring to visit, so everybody can visit it at a safe distance.
Wherever he flies to.
Yes.
Have you seen? I didn't know this until after the jet was donated. But have you seen how much Qatar donates to American politicians and universities?
Well, Qatar's full of expats. So
It's just, I didn't know. I had no idea that was a thing. Why are they donating to universities?
What's the current date right now? May 14th?
Correct. Yeah.
April 30th. In totally unrelated news, the Trump family's company struck a deal Wednesday to build a luxury golf resort in Qatar.
oh, it's completely unrelated.
Unrelated.
Isn't that like a $550 million deal?
The project, which features Trump-branded beachside villas and an 18-hole golf course, will be built by a Saudi Arabian company.
Is it nice there?
It is
Like safe?
It's hot.
Yes.
Yeah, Qatar is very nice.
Everything is
Hot.
everything is custom built there.
It'll be the first foreign deal by the Trump organization since Trump took office.
Won't be the last.
So a little $500 million
So this is
investment
like a
over there.
vacation destination.
No.
It's oil money.
Yes.
It's oil money.
It's live golf money.
Is this
Yeah.
where, what's the, Dubai? Is it
Abu
like,
Dhabi.
Yeah.
Right next
Okay.
door.
Yep.
Palm Beach to Los
UAB.
Angeles.
okay.
You could
All right.
probably travel to any of those places, Dakota. It's where Audrey would want to go. Is probably what would control where, because I think that's what varies as to how much freedom women have in those areas. Guys are
Right.
probably
We
good
could
at
only see
traveling.
her eyeballs.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah.
By the way, you can't drink there either. So
And if you
So
wink at a
Bones
man,
will
they'll
never,
throw you.
ever,
Not
ever
real
visit
interested
there.
in going.
Not a
these
good
places.
situation for the beer cart girls.
If you wink at another man, they'll throw you from a roof.
Probably.
Depends on what.
Reason number 2 why Bones will never visit there.
Here's the strange thing about this is that if his
I
company
haven't killed anybody
work
yet,
this
Forrest.
deal-
You're getting real fucking close.
and then his
Wait. What time is it?
8:15.
8:15.
He's
yeah,
fine.
we went a while.
and
Zach?
if his company then got the jet, I don't understand why he's getting the jet, or why the government's getting the jet. What? First of all, they can't do anything with it. He's acting like he's going to give you a plane out of
Because
it.
they already. That's what I was saying earlier. I was making the connection to like the millions of dollars that they'd already donate to politicians, publicly funded universities, states. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what the reason is. I wasn't being facetious. I was legitimately
I think
wondering.
it's honestly to benefit him personally. Like,
No, I mean like all of it. Like, why is
Whitewash.
their government getting like donating so much money
Whitewashing.
to our governments?
So they look better in the world after they donated tons of money to terrorists.
who's
Just-
a huge consumer of oil?
Yeah, there we go. That's another.
See how much money they donate to China.
Yeah, I haven't seen those numbers. I mean, China donates a lot of money
I'm
to
sure it
universities
is
too.
all above board, and there is zero corruption at all.
It's just weird. It's weird. I don't know
would
why.
you want to take a plane like our Flying Fortress from?
Are we
another
doing
country?
that? Are we donating a bunch of money to like Great Britain universities? Like, are we writing checks to Oxford?
It says that in the 20-year span between 2001 and 2021, that U.S. higher education institutions received $13 billion in funding from foreign sources, with Qatar contributing donations totaling $4.7 billion to universities over that 20 years.
4.7 billion. So they've donated more than a third
Yeah.
of all the donations to American universities. I don't know. It seems like everyone.
It might just be
wants to
like-
come to American universities for their graduate
Well,
degrees.
So like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, like those places are the most westernized areas in the Middle East.
Yep.
Yes.
So it might be like, hey, we want to send more of our young people to get Western educations. It might be
They're
like
investing in
that type of
themselves.
deal. Like they might be investing in their future generations to get an education here.
Well, the guy who runs Qatar has like 13 kids.
That might just be all their tuition
Yeah.
with college prices in America.
Fair.
13 kids, 3
And it
wives.
would be out of state.
We should have gone into politics. I told my mom today we have planes at home. We don't need to go get their planes.
Why would we?
But he's
why
not
would
getting
we-
the new Air Force One quick enough. That's been his
here-
gripe all
here's
along.
why
But-
would you want
but he
someone
was
else
the
to make
one-
your plane?
He was the one that canceled the Air Force One replacement during his first term because he said it would cost too much money. And he pushed it off until
He blamed Biden. He said
it
he
would be
screwed it up.
Biden's.
Yeah.
He said Biden screwed it up.
Here's the thing, that he's not going to get to use this thing. At least
It'll be
It's-
refurbed for like 3 years. Maybe in his
Because
third
he
or
will get
fourth
to use it
term.
when he gets out of office,
'cause
and it
the-
belongs to his.
but like
To JD Vance.
because if people don't understand, like even like Secret Service works very closely with like GM or whoever builds the limo, and then they take possession of the limo and then they strip it down to every nut and bolt, check it, and then put it back together. So if he wanted to use this thing as Air Force One, Secret Service would literally have to have it disassembled, retrofitted, because it definitely doesn't have all the crazy stuff that Air Force Ones normally have.
And they have 2 Air Force Ones.
Put it back together, and they've got 2. Yeah, they already have 2 in there. Like, yes, I looked and they're like, they're not actually 40 years old yet. They were put in service in 1990, so they're 35. But they're 747s. They're like, they still use those.
Yeah.
And this one apparently looks like, if people haven't seen pictures, if people think of the 747, it's got that upper lounge in the front. This is double decker, I think, the entire way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
So,
bizarre. The whole
Fun
thing's
fact,
weird.
planes, they don't like judge by how many miles or whatever they've flown.
Yeah.
It's how many times they're pressurized. So Air Force One's not pressurized.
Oh, as near as much as like a commercial.
No,
jet
because
that's
a
getting
commercial
used all
flight
the
might
time.
go
It's not
7 or 8
making 8
times in a
flights
day.
a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how they base how old they keep planes around.
And-
It's how many times they're pressurized.
And I'm going to guess,
Fun
just
fact, who
guess,
knew
that.
that?
the maintenance schedule on
Not
it is
that
a little
much.
bit better than like Southwest or Frontier Airlines. Just going to guess.
Definitely better than Alaska Air. Or what do you fly? Is it Spirit or Frontier? What's your
I
go-to?
love
I used to always fly Allegiant, but I'm done with them.
What'd they do
I
to
like
you?
Spirit and
They-
Frontier.
Where on the airplane did they hurt you, Dakota?
They wronged me
Where'd
hard.
they show us where they touched you.
They only have one flight a week.
Look at me.
You look like an Allegiant customer.
The flight attendant rubbed his head, and he
I
was
was-
offended.
I was a loyal Allegiant customer, but I've sworn them off. I even have $50 vouchers because
So,
of how they
who is
screwed
your
me, and I won't
low-cost
use them.
carrier now?
4 wheels on the interstate,
Is it
baby.
Pitbull Midwesterner?
Yeah. Honestly, after I drove to Gulf Shores, I thought, why would I fly again? And then I flew to Port Hollywood, or Hollywood, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Suburb of Miami.
The Port Lauderdale. Yeah, the port at Port Lauderdale.
You drove
was
to
too
that
much.
cruise.
No. We flew there. Plane kept getting delayed, going down. We didn't know if we were even going to be able to make it on our cruise. And then on the way back home, it was perfectly clear, sunny skies, both areas. And we got there, and we're waiting at the gate. And I forget what takeoff time. I think takeoff time was at 4:15, and at like 3:55, we're still sitting there, and we're like, "This is weird. Haven't heard an announcement yet."
No plane yet.
And then no, there's a plane sitting there. And then at 4:00, they came over the loudspeaker and said that our plane had been delayed until 11:30 p.m. And we were like, "What? Excuse me?"
I mean, you'll get in at 2:30 in the morning at best.
I have a 5-year-old too, which sucks. And we were flying to Cincinnati, which sucks too because it's a 2-hour drive.
45-minute drive home.
So it's
Not
like,
bad from Rushville.
I don't think we can do this. And then I got in line because they said this is a crew issue. We just don't have a crew available for the plane that we have here. So since it's our fault, you're entitled to a meal voucher. So you have to wait in line.
Here's $13 a piece.
You get $12.
Yeah.
And
And all the airport restaurants are now closed.
Yeah.
so standing in line to get the meal voucher and to also just ask them, like, is there anything we can do? And the lady behind me said that she had been there since yesterday. This was her second flight that had been canceled. The lady in front of me turns around when she hears that, and she's like, I've been here since Thursday. And it was Saturday. So they were both like, this plane's not leaving tonight. This is exactly what they have done. And
Last 3 days.
I was like, oh my God. You've been here since Thursday?
We've done this for 3 days now.
So this is my complaint about that airline is that they have one flight a day that does that. Southwest costs a little bit more, and I know they're going to bone me on baggage fees in the
No,
future. They
yes.
didn't used to, but they will in the future. But Southwest has 10 flights a day from Orlando to Indianapolis. There's multiple options. It's not like they just have one route. They've got another bus version of the damn thing coming every 2 or 3 hours.
Spirit and Frontier. I
And
like
at
my low
worst,
cost
you might have
airlines.
to fly through Atlanta.
So we did.
Better than Charlotte, though.
I did end up.
God awful.
Fly Frontier, you got to go from Florida to Colorado and back.
Yeah.
I wound up requesting a refund, and because there was a Southwest flight that was leaving at like 8, and it was like, oh, okay. No, it was like 7:30.
So did you take the Southwest flight to Cincinnati or to
No,
back to Indy and then
we
have to
took
go
it-
get your cars?
We took it to Indy,
Parents
but
can't
my
pick you up.
my parents and my sister and brother-in-law, they decided to stay, and we were like, hey, sister and brother-in-law, here's the key to the car. You can drive it back, because their car was parked at our house anyway.
Yeah.
And it worked out that way. But
So
then
did
we
they
got
when
on.
did they actually get home?
They haven't yet.
No, they got.
They're still hanging out in Florida.
So they wound up getting on the plane.
Florida, man.
I think they got on the plane at 1 a.m. and then they're boarded on the plane, and then the pilot came over the speaker and said, we have found a defect.
Which means the coffee maker's not working.
So we need to deboard the plane, and we will be bringing a new plane. So they didn't get back to Newcastle until about 6:30 in the morning.
Work at 7.
You need to listen to
So
Off Track with Tension Ross this week. There's a great, a fairly similar story about getting on a plane. It's a travel podcast at the
I was like,
beginning, and you'd enjoy this. story.
I'll never fly Allegiant again after all that rigmarole. But we wound up getting on the Southwest plane, and Audrey and I were like, this is such a better flying experience anyway.
yeah.
This is so much nicer.
Yeah.
It had been forever since I'd been on a Southwest flight.
Southwest is mid-tier. I'm good with it. They go if Southwest doesn't go there, I probably don't need to go.
The Honda Accord of
It's
airline.
fine.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
get you there.
Allegiant and American are the same categories. Like we avoid them like the plague.
I've never flown on American.
Yeah, I avoid it.
The only hiccup with Southwest is you're probably connecting somewhere. but they've got a bunch of versions of flights to do it.
Well, it depends on where you're flying to.
Right. But
Yeah.
I don't really connect a lot on Southwest.
my last 2 flights on Southwest, and this is nowhere close to the show notes, but I went to New Orleans. There's no direct flight, so I had to do that.
You
I went to
got us
San Juan,
started
Puerto
on this,
Rico.
Jer.
I had to go through Orlando or Baltimore to get back.
I've been to Philadelphia by way of Atlanta on Southwest.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
I would try to I would try to connect in Baltimore if I was doing that, but you do you, Forrest. Slow news day talk. This is only because I'm trying.
Pretty
to
sure that's what we just did.
Okay. Let me walk the plank.
Slower news.
Hey, have
Why
you ever
do you
been
have
on
to
the
be a
flight? Have you ever been on the Southwest flight where they have to everyone else gets to leave the plane and you get to stay on it?
I've been on a Southwest flight where everybody had to get off, and then they didn't put us back on in the boarding groups, and I was furious
You lost your good seat.
because I had to sit in a middle seat away from my wife, and that was
Oh.
annoying.
So we did the flight from Southwest to Vegas, and we had to stop in Kansas City. And everyone in Kansas that were getting off Kansas City got to, and there was like 6 of us that got to stay on because we were going to Vegas.
So did you go up and take all the front row seats?
Oh yeah, and then I said, here, put the bag in the
Where
middle
it
seat.
continues on. Yes, I have had this experience where you get to just go pick whatever seat you want. Everybody
and
else
then you
leaves.
Then I said, put the bags in the middle seat, and everyone just walked right.
Feels like
past us.
first class.
And we had the only 2 people in the one row. It was nice.
That is there are some poor bastards on Southwest because they will have a flight continue on. You'll get on a flight in Indianapolis that had started in Baltimore, and then it'll go to Vegas. Then they're like, yep, and then it's going to go to Oakland, and it's going to finish it up in
Mexico City.
in Cabo San Lucas. And somebody wrote it the whole damn way.
But it only cost them $149.
And their bags were free.
It's like the Greyhound bus of airplanes.
It works. So slow news day talk. There are 2 things in sports talk radio or talk radio in Indiana that would make the phones ring. They both have been solved now. One was, what do we do about the time zones in Indiana? Should we be on fast time, slow time, daylight saving time? What are we going to do? And Mitch Daniels got elected governor, and that got fixed. We don't get to talk about that anymore. And the other thing was Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. This week, I got the push notification from The Athletic that Pete Rose is being reinstated by baseball. And I guess next year, we'll see if he goes to Cooperstown.
Damn, all he had to do was die.
So he died last year at 83.
Right?
He was banned. Dakota, do you remember the story at all? Do you know?
Yeah, we covered it on the show when
Okay.
he died.
So Pete Rose was banned in the early 90s for betting on baseball. Not betting on his team, but betting on baseball.
Never his games.
Since that time, he's the all-time hit king. He had the most hits of anybody that ever played baseball. And then he wound up managing the Cincinnati Reds, the team he played for. Since that time, sports betting has become a little bit more mainstream.
Acceptable.
Say it.
Acceptable is the key word.
DraftKings Sportsbook.
In 2020, the Detroit Tigers signed a deal to have PointsBet be their official sports book 5 years ago. In 2023, MLB got one for the entire league. So now they've had the last 2 years of having a dude banned in his lifetime. The entire league had sports betting, and they were making money on it, but they had him iced.
I mean,
Yeah, it was
rules,
crazy.
different
So
times.
if you're a surviving family member, what's your response? Is it a big F you to MLB?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he had said that he did not want them to reinstate him and be voted into the Hall of Fame posthumously. He said, "Do it while I'm alive, or don't do it at all." Like he was, I think he had vocally said this is not what he
His
wanted.
fault for dying too soon. They were getting around to it. So if you've driven I-74 between Cincinnati and Indianapolis, there have been billboards up about Pete Rose Day that's coming up.
it was today.
It was right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Pete
Yeah,
Rose Day.
that-
So they
was today's
reinstated
game.
him before the game today in Cincinnati.
And I forget how many fans that showed up got a Pete Rose jersey today.
Hall of Famer.
And
What
a free bet.
coincidence.
I hope they got a free bet,
yeah.
but you had to vote against the bet against the Reds.
and the Reds are losing to the White Sox.
Oh, they're playing the White Sox.
Yeah, they're losing right now.
The
Pope.
The Pope to the Pope.
That's God's story.
Yeah, that's what they get for.
There's gonna be a movie about that.
That's what they get for having interleague play for the Pete Rose game.
Interleague means I get to see my favorite team more often. So
The Mets.
no,
The Orioles.
The
Red Sox. He's a Red Sox fan.
Tampa
You're
Bay
getting
Devil
closer.
Rays
they had their very first rain delay in franchise history.
for a home game.
Yeah,
I don't know when they
Ponchos.
when
they handed
lost,
out ponchos
when
like
they-
commemorating that.
when they lost their roof. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Things are naked in Tampa.
Tends to rain a lot in Florida.
Zach Burcham, we attended the Sanzio Grand Prix over the weekend.
Yeah.
What is Sanzio?
It's a car protection. Is it PPF or something? It's some car protection thing. I don't know.
PPF.
It's some automotive protective thing. So I
Is it
wonder
like
if it's
ceramic?
It's pronounced Sanzio.
Sanzio.
Yeah.
You know Sergio Sanzio.
Sanzio.
I think Sanzio. I thought it was a car warranty company.
Yeah, you have to
Tire hazards,
say it.
appearance, parts,
No, I'm pretty
labor,
bad at it.
whatever.
Are those the people that keep calling me?
It's the car warranty.
Your car warranty is expiring.
On my
you did-
2019 F-150
I
that I don't own.
I don't think that's an Italian accent.
Oh yeah, it's
you're
Sanzio.
hearing.
vehicle protection plans, tire, parts and labor. It's the
I'm
extended
surprised they
warranty
didn't
people.
collect all our cell phone numbers at the game
asked-
for
yeah.
10% off.
Man, they would have loved. Man, they would have.
Oh, they just swiped it as you walked by. You didn't even know it.
you
Yeah.
gave it to them already.
I don't think.
right?
Yeah, you'd have been crazy as if. I don't know if anybody's ever had this happen. I don't think they do it much anymore. But like, I've been to a state where you roll across the state line, and you get a text message. It's like, welcome to whatever. If you walked in and you got a message and immediately said, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. If you walked in the door.
I entered the state and it said, welcome to here. I'm throwing the phone
It's
out the
been a
window.
while. but I
It's like your Garmin watch. Every time you show up at an airport, like it tells you welcome to whatever airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah.
I haven't been to an
Zach
airport
hasn't
since-
flown
Yeah,
in this century.
I flew.
If you're on 70 starting to get off on Ronald Reagan, it will
good
say
news is
welcome
he's
to
got the
Indianapolis International Airport.
He's got the proper ID though.
I do. I do.
Yeah, Mr. Bones, have you taken corrective action with your lack of a star? No. Last week, I know you listened to all the shows you're on, Dakota. As you remember, last week we did the Real ID episode, and Mr. Bones revealed
How do you
that he
not
was
have
the
a
one
real
idiot
ID?
that
I
didn't
thought
have
I
a
had
real
it.
ID.
All right. I thought I had it.
I'll tell you what was super fun.
It's
is
the
that-
Rush County BMV.
Is the rolling joke of it is that TSA had a tent in the infield at the Sanzio Grand Prix. Like they were handing out, it was for child trafficking information, whatever. But they had a TSA agent like sitting there working the table, and I walked up to her. I was like, "Is this better?"
Will
than
you touch me?
No, no, I don't want to be escorted out of the track and never ask, never return. But I said, "Is this a better gig than telling people they need a real ID?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of talking about that." But she was like, she was pretty happy to be sitting at the track under a canopy on a 70-degree
Talking
day.
about child exploitation.
Way better.
Human traffic. Well, not, you know what though? She was dealing with happy race fans, and
She
not
did
with,
it with a smile on her
yeah,
face. though.
with grumpy travel.
Better put a leash on that kid. He might get.
See something, say something.
I saw some kids on leashes there.
The TSA's reaction. So before we went on our cruise for our flights, my family and I, we all drew a random person's name, and then you got to buy that person a T-shirt.
Oh,
and then
boy.
the rule was that you had to wear the T-shirt that was provided to you through the airport until we got to the hotel. And my dad bought my brother-in-law a shirt that was Borat wearing his banana hammock.
There could be worse shirts.
And
Absolutely.
the TSA's, like, all the agents' reactions, like, what is that shirt? Just
What
perfect.
did you have to wear?
It had my brother-in-law's face all over it. It's just a collage of his face, and then one big face in the middle of him.
It's not too bad. What'd you make your mom wear?
My mom, it was very. I got my mom, and it was just my mom is not like she. For things to be funny to her, they're like, it's a joke or it's there. She doesn't have the same irreverent humor that I have, where just like stupid things are funny because they're stupid. You know, like to her, mine, stupid things are stupid because they're stupid. And I found this random shirt that's a giant graphic of a dude with a big beer belly, like in a swamp in Florida, and he's just like side kicking a alligator right in the mouth. It's like dark outside. And it just was dumb and ridiculous. And she didn't really get it. And that was what made it the most fun to me. But she was like, "What is this?"
Flying to Florida, Mom.
Florida man.
Alex Palou won again. 3rd year in a row, he's won the Sanzio Grand Prix.
I moved up in the standings.
So did I.
I got
I
to
had
go
a
to
really
Victory
good week.
Lane. Didn't get to hold the trophy this time, but 3rd year in a row, I got my picture made with Alex. Snuck my baby brother into the picture, so there's a picture of Danny and I in Victory Lane.
Where the rest of the Morrell family? Missed him.
You were on the news.
And then baby
Sarah was on
so-
the news.
I'll tell you. We'll tell this story really quick. Zach, my father-in-law Kevin, and myself were the first 3 campers to arrive at the Speedway on Thursday morning to the end.
Like it's 7:04.
7:01 in the
So,
morning.
yeah, we were
What
like,
time did you roll out of Newcastle?
6.
Yeah.
Channel 4 wanted to watch the weirdos get there
So
early.
so this is what's confusing.
Who in
is
the
Channel
hell are
4
these
and
people?
Channel 59?
Yes, so I told people the wrong channel because they didn't.
They didn't tell us.
I should have guessed Fox because the race is going to be
Yeah.
on Fox. I should have guessed that affiliation, but yeah,
It was too early.
They
in the
just
morning
had.
for me
They
to
just
this
have like
thought.
a universal, like
local news.
yeah. No, it just says whatever. I can't remember what it says on it, but just as it's generic because it's
Is it WTTV, WXIN?
yeah.
I think the mic flags are both channels. Like it's universal
Yeah.
between them.
Yeah.
So they roll in, and I saw the car. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, they're sitting in the car like in front of a lot when
waiting
we
on the
roll in.
campers to come in. So we go to our usual spot. I pull in. My father-in-law pulls in, and then before I'm even unhooked, I'm still just like lining up and setting up. Here come the news crews, and they park directly where Zach needs to go.
Yeah, so I had pulled up. So people know trailers, tow vehicles obviously got to go somewhere. So I pull up and out of the way directly in front of Jeremiah so that when he gets unhooked and gets his truck moved out of the way, I can literally just back straight up and be good. I'm sitting in my truck, which is not quiet. It idles like an old diesel because that's what it is. And I look at my backup camera and he pulls in right behind me and gets out. And I'm like, maybe he's getting in the back. Oh, he's leaving.
He's setting the camera up.
He's setting the camera up. This is, I'm going to be here for a half an hour because I'm like,
Should have started laying on the horn.
What? Yeah, get out. and say,
well, because I'm trying to, because I know what they're doing.
Zach's being Midwest polite, and
I'm
he's
being Midwest
the
polite.
first year of the infield camping. You
I
interviewed
was
like
that
32
guy.
times.
I was that guy. Yeah, I was on the news like 7 times. Like we got interviewed a bunch, and I know, and I quickly figure out what they're doing. They're doing like the hits when they either coming in or out of commercial breaks. Like, oh, hey, we're here at the whatever, and it's like quick little like 30-second hits or maybe a minute or two, or whatever. So I'm like, I don't want to be the rude guy, but I'm like, I would like to eat breakfast, and I would like to get my camper unhooked. And I was like, but I'm not going to get out. I just turned the truck off, and then I think somebody said something.
I was like, hey, can you move? Somebody can set up. Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah, he was nice about it.
And
but-
then they liked us so much that they interviewed my father-in-law and my mother-in-law at 7:30 in the morning. And they're like, can we interview you guys too? I'm like, I guess. And they're like, okay, we'll come back at 8:32. And I'm like, that's in an hour.
Okay, but here's the funny part. Come back. So they moved to the side. The reporter gets in her car, and the camera guy gets in his car, and they just sat there for an hour or for 56 minutes or whatever it was. They didn't speak to each other. Jeremiah pointed out she's probably doing some reporting, like typing up a story or something. But they weren't even in the same car.
She was
They
making
just
sure her face didn't melt.
sat in individual vehicles. She wasn't like super dolled up or anything. She was doing her thing. She was
It's
a polo.
Hannah from Fox 59.
Yeah,
For those,
I don't
for those
watch
in the Indianapolis
local
market.
news, so I don't know.
I don't know either. But I was when she interviewed Sarah, and then I was there with her, and I talked for a minute. But she was perfectly normal when you spoke to her, and then she went to her on air thing, and it was like that fake. It was like Flippy.
The Bopsy girl.
it was like cranked to a 12, like over the top, happy, excited. I'm like, oh, we're doing this. I took everything I could do to not match energy.
Oh, that would have been
comment.
fantastic.
Because I was like, no, be nice. The best part is that I wore the shirt Bones is wearing. I just happened to wear that for the setup.
I know. So Clint Weaver, who's watching right now, he sent me the picture that morning, the one that I sent you. And he's like, look who's on the news right now. And I was like, holy crap. And then I saw your shirt. I was like, oh my God, he's wearing a Boss Hog shirt. I thought, so I sent it to you because I was like, I bet that they asked Jeremiah if he could be on the news. And he was like, hold on a minute. I need to change my shirt.
It's just it's literally, we got up at 5 a.m, 5:30. I'm making my decision as to what I'm going to wear that day. And I'm like, oh, perfect day to wear the Boss Hog t-shirt.
It would have been even better if it was a Boss Hog t-shirt with that shirt unbuttoned, Boss Hog hat on.
Yeah.
Ask me about my podcast. Yeah, that's how it went down. I was involved. Fox 59 is kicking ass at the track. I watched them do 3 interviews. The next day I was running around with Joey Molinaro. Eric, the redheaded guy, interviewed Joey. I saw that on the news that night and the next morning. And then Zach, you and I were interviewed by Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, I refuse to watch that.
Oh,
I knew
I
it was on there. Somebody sent me the link. But
They're going to give you a free Sunday night ticket if you do it.
Yeah, I can't, man. You don't believe how many times I've made the drive back from there, and you could have pulled a train across the road, and I would have hit it because I was tired. And a Sunday night race, no.
So
Just
let's see. David Letterman was down there.
I saw Dave.
His driver almost won. He led the most laps. Graham Ray Hall.
Yeah.
Is he still bearded?
Yes, very. Yeah.
Yeah, more than ever. So Gateway did get moved today. Fox made a big announcement. They're moving a bunch of race times around for TV ratings.
Smart move.
Oh, the Malort is coming back up, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't taste any better coming
It's
up,
an
does it?
angry elf. It really is.
It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
It's an exorcism happening. So Gateway got moved into Sunday night of
Like 7.
Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a late night show. The Indianapolis crowd is either going to have to take Monday off or just not go. One or the other.
I will watch on TV.
And then they moved the Mid-Ohio race up, which is a great thing for Zach and I.
Yeah, I don't
Moved it
mind
up an
that
hour.
at all.
They moved it up an hour. So we get, instead of a 2 o'clock race, it's a 1 o'clock race. We might get home before
Dark.
it's dark.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Indy 500 practice is underway. Mr. Bones, you're going to be attending your first time this year.
Yes, that cherry will be popped.
Sunday.
Wait,
talk
like
you into
first
it?
time ever?
It's first time coming to the track to watch cars run.
Yes.
You're weak, Bones.
How am I
You talked
weak?
you into it. You let Jeremiah talk you into it.
One time.
And you're from Indiana.
He's from
Right.
Rush County. though.
Dakota
That's
had
close
tickets
to
once,
that.
but he didn't go. Chase is coming out on Carb Day.
Chase enjoys it because I didn't go.
No, Chase is
How
excited
about that?
because there's a car
Chase
sponsored
took
by
my
Creed.
tickets.
So I because
Ew.
of what happened the week before, there was a big announcement that Creed is going to be coming to Carb Day. They're on the side of a car, the Felix Rosenquist car. Chase Payton is a
Can you
massive fan
Be faster.
of Creed.
The price of that truck just went up a little bit.
They've gone all in on this. They've got a Bluetooth radio that they're sticking on the car, and they played Creed songs every time they roll it up
A
and down Gasoline
JBL
Alley.
speaker.
It's perfect.
The young
So-
crowd right now is really into Creed for some reason.
Popular.
The young crowd.
They think it's
It's
Creed
because of
Bratton.
the memes.
They're kind of weird people too. Have you seen the young crowd?
But their music selection right now is shit. So they're
And
going
they're-
back 20
yeah.
years.
And it's still shit.
It's way better than the current shit.
They like the old.
I don't know.
But there's a lot of those bands that kind of come back around, especially like Creed and Nickelback are ones that people like to make fun of back in the day, and people are kind of so
Not Three Doors Down.
Not Three Doors Down.
Become like ironic.
We're
cool.
going on a rocket sled.
Fighting for the greeter position.
Nah, Creed was always good. They were always writing bangers.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
No, they were not.
Yes.
How can you not
How,
listen?
were you a Creed fan? Tells me
No,
everything I need
but
to
I
know.
like all their music.
They're fine.
They're not fine. They're terrible.
All right. Well, you
I
don't
was
have
a
to
kid when they were
Them and
playing.
Nickelback were
I thought they were good.
Oh, everybody wants to be a rock star.
You want to be a rock star.
No.
So, Mr. Bones, you're going to go out on Sunday to watch the poll
yes.
happen.
That's why he's going.
Why? Because he wants to be a big rock star.
Forrest,
Jeremiah said pull. I got involved. Okay.
Forrest, you're going to go out for Fast Friday.
Fast Friday. It's my favorite day out there.
It is a good time.
Yep.
Race cars at full speed.
But this year's going to be kind of weird, though. 85 on Friday and then like 67 on Saturday and Sunday.
I'm somebody who's going to be a resident there. I'm thankful.
Yeah, I'm happy. The cooler the temperatures, the better.
Yeah, the cooler,
I'm
better.
happy with that. Friday, I've got a sweet pass, and I'm going to use it. I'm probably going to be hiding up there for most of the time Friday, until they run me out of there. Clean race or clean practice so far. A day and a half of practice, and all the cars have all their fenders on them still, Zach.
Yeah, a day and a half of practice though, and how much actual track time have they got?
We got
All the rain.
just under 3 hours on Monday or Tuesday. I didn't know.
Yeah, I think they had about 4 hours today. I mean, it's fair. Next week we're gonna get in the weeds more. Dakota, I know you'll love coming back next week for the Tuesday Mike McCown Boss Hog race extravaganza night. But there's a tire allocation now, so they have less tires. So I don't think they can use all the track time they have anyway. They got like 5 less sets than they did.
Not too pleased about it.
So is tires and Eagle Rare the same thing?
They're allocated.
Allocation?
Okay.
Yeah. You can get 1 bottle of Eagle Rare or 32 sets of tires.
Was Dixon's issued that, or was Dixon's issued the new rule for the Silencio Grand Prix, where they had to use 2 sets of each compound?
Dixon qualified poorly in the
Yeah, I mean, I heard he said something about he didn't like the tire thing. I wonder if it was a Silencio Grand Prix tire. They did.
I just read the headline.
Chase Payton is winning the Fantasy IndyCar League too.
Yeah,
somebody's got to stop.
I hadn't even looked at my results from this last week.
I'm trying. I'm ahead of both of the Morrells.
You are? I'm in like 7th place. I fell from 4th to 7th.
Somebody would have.
And we got like 40 people playing
I went
every
from
week.
11th to 4th this week.
Somebody would have picked the Rahal team. They would have done pretty well.
I'm almost top 30.
I did pick up Graham for Saturday.
Fuck you, Dakota.
but hey, you started from the bottom.
Exactly.
So in Mr. Bones' defense, he heard half of the rules, and he heard make as much money as he can.
Yes.
So he signed the cheapest drivers possible and wanted to make money. And now he's starting to parlay that into, now he has a big fat wad of cash, and he can afford the big expensive drivers.
Yes.
In the fantasy news over there, there's been some question about how the one-time only drivers are going to be handled. The one-offs, as they call them, because there's seven drivers that are not yet in the game that will be added next week.
You have legit chances of, like, some of them
could
some of them are worth signing for your fantasy team.
Don't sign them for more than one race, though. Don't be a moron.
No, just one race.
The default to 3 will not play to your advantage.
It will not help. So yeah, we'll see if Chase can lose. Dakota, have you been enjoying the NBA playoffs?
I actually have. The Pacers have. So, okay, let me start off here. The NBA has been boring for a long time. We'll just get that out there.
Ever since Sam Perkins retired.
The Pacers, the last few games, have been legitimately fun to watch. They've been a fun
when
team
they're
to
on
watch.
my television, yes.
Oh,
when they're on
this
Valley
NBA
Sports,
TV.
I have no clue. But now that I can see them, yes, I agree.
I've been watching on my phone, so a little different. But it's just, I don't know.
Young millennials.
When I grew up.
Creed listener.
I grew up watching like Reggie Miller. That was my growing up era of basketball exposure. And I feel like we're
Reggie Miller with Jermaine O'Neal, not Reggie Miller with Rick Smits.
Yeah.
And the Davises.
Yeah.
So
Derek McKee.
We can go 1994.
Chris
Reggie
Mullins. Mark
but,
Jackson.
But my point is that we're just getting, it seems like we're getting to this era where it's like, they're playing hard. Like they're playing. They're going out there.
Rick Carlisle, the coach, always wanted, and they are absolute stone cold killers when it comes to shooting. At least they were in the Cleveland series.
Yeah, they're playing fast
for 4 games.
They're playing rough, and it's fun to watch.
And getting down to the wire, it's so much fun.
They spot somebody 20 points and then beat them by 2, and just, if I was a Cleveland fan, I would have had the most miserable experience.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're watching your team, you're going to win, you're up by 20, 25, and then the fourth quarter of every game is just a disaster.
But
like, I would have lost my shit.
But here's the thing. You have probably been a Cleveland fan your whole life, so you're kind of used to this. But your teams have never been good.
Cleveland this year at home went 36-5.
They're the all-time.
They went 0-5 against the Pacers.
Yeah, it's bad.
Number 1 seed. They blew out. I forget. We talked about last week.
Miami by like 60 points to move on to this round.
Yeah, they like the total margin of victory for those 4 games was like over 100 points.
Yeah.
And they're number 1 seed, and like Indiana's like, I'll agree. Like, if anybody Facebook friends with Chris Galt, he's a huge Pacer fan, and they're like, the Pacers have never really been given a chance. I don't think anybody saw them beating Cleveland in 5, and yeah, it was
So
interesting.
Friday night's game, the first game in Indy, was absolutely terrible, and we went Sunday night not knowing what we were going to.
And you got to see the show.
And that was the best basketball game I think I've ever seen.
80 was it 80 to 39
up by 41 and a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just unreal. Unreal.
And then last night, okay, we'll give you 19. And then in the second quarter, when
They scored
Hallie,
like 17 straight in the third quarter.
when Hallie went on the run to end the second quarter, it's like, ooh, it'd be rough to be sending Cleveland right now.
Problem is, we can't do this again. They can't spot teams now.
No,
So,
either one of these teams playing right now, you won't be able to.
so
But
as of the moment we're listening to this game, we're recording this podcast.
168.
The Knicks have the Boston Celtics on the ropes. If the Knicks win tonight, they will move on. However, they are trailing in the third quarter by 13 points. So it's looking like Boston should be able to hold on and force this to a game 6 in New York.
That's what
Man,
everyone
Jeremiah,
in
that-
Indiana wants.
The horse show announcing really came through on that one.
Did it?
Yeah, it sounded good.
I've got skills.
We're only episode 393 into this. He's getting better.
I've spent a lot of time announcing horse shows. I could do play-by-play if I was bored enough to go to. I could probably do it.
How long did you do doing donkey shows?
Donkeys.
Since you started showing up.
One day in Tijuana.
Jeremiah's
and I got
seen a
forced
lot
out
of
the donkey
asses.
business. So you guys are pretty insistent that you do not want to see the New York Knicks.
I do. I
mean-
I think it'll be a harder matchup, but I want the Hicks versus Knicks matchup.
I'm there with you, Forrest. My emotional connection back to that 90.
I go back to
1994.
1994.
Yeah,
Eastern
John
Conference.
John
Finals.
Starks, Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing,
And it
versus
will-
Rick
When
Smith.
it
Slick
will-
Leonard busted out the boom, baby.
Boom, baby, boom, boom.
And it
Yeah.
will be a bloodbath like it was back in the 90s.
I'm all for it. Yeah, I would like to see the Knicks as well. My New York family has been texting. We got a text thread that started when the Pacers and the Knicks played last year in the playoffs. So
Didn't end so well.
no, but it's fine. I just want both teams to have
But
fun.
they are talking about the fact that the game 3 will be at
Sunday
Gainbridge
night.
Fieldhouse.
Yes.
Sunday, Memorial Day weekend night. So after there will be a Pacer game at home after the Indianapolis.
The
Finals.
manager-
That would be the first home game for the
Yeah.
Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They should just have a seat reserved, hopefully, for the winner with an empty spot for the Borg.
Didn't we do this last year?
The manager of Kilroy said, "Please pray for me."
I bet he did. Because he said like people are gonna come downtown from the track, and they've been buzzed since 9:30 in the morning.
Assuming there's not a rain
9:30.
delay
Come
and they
on.
can get there
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
I think this has happened like 3 times where the Pacers have had a home playoff game on race day. One of them was 2004, which was not a great day.
Oh, that was the tornado.
That was
day.
the tornado and 3.5 inches of rain fell. You didn't camp for that game, did you? Or that race, did you? Zach?
No, I remember camping for a similar one though.
Yeah.
not that long
We
ago.
didn't do this last year.
I don't think the
it was
home
a
game.
Pacers
No.
game.
The home game
I
did
think it was a home-
Was it a home
yeah.
game?
It wasn't like that. Yeah, we've had last year. I remember seeing in qualifications, and they will give Pacers scores if they are playing while cars are on track. Dave Calabro will
Dave
give you the
Calabro,
scores.
he's all over it.
Yeah, he will give you the scores.
Thank you, Dave.
I was genuinely hoping the conclave would go an extra day just so we could get a Pope announcement at the track, like during
would
practice.
be, man, fantastic.
I wanted like the white smoke on the
And
jumbotron.
he's on it. Oh,
And
there's white
we
smoke.
have a Pope. Yeah, we were robbed of that. It's going to be like
Have a new pope.
decades before we get another chance at that one.
Maybe.
Well, hopefully.
12 to 13 years.
Keep the train running.
The one guy,
He's still
When?
only 69.
Nice.
He could be Pope for 20 years.
He could. We've had him for a long time.
Unless he pulls a Benedict and resigns.
that dude was
He's on a mission from God. He could live to be 107. We don't know.
He's got a full tank of gas.
Is that your bet?
Prove me wrong. All right. Let's just go for the trifecta of
He
going straight
grew
to hell.
up eating
How
Chicago
old is the Pope
food.
going to be when he dies, everybody? I'm going 82. 82 from Jeremiah.
He
82?
grew up.
I already
eating
said-
Chicago foods. He didn't
I
live
already
in
said
one of those
89.
blue zones, so he's not.
Yeah, but
making it
Peru
first
is a coastal
Forrest,
area,
how old's
so-
Post going to be when he dies?
night. How old is he? 69.
He's 69 right now.
79.
Ooh, only 10 years. Zach,
All
you got a
right.
number?
I'll do 91.
Ooh.
Whoa.
He's going a long time. And Bones?
$1.
Bones says 69.
We'll do 93.
Woo. He's going for the over.
Wow. The dude hasn't lived in Chicago in 70
He
years.
grew up
But
in
that's
Peru.
rooted
Like,
in him, though.
The fact that
the
his-
Peruvians, are they noted for living a long time? What's the
think
average
so.
death age of a Peruvian male, Zach? Why don't you look that up for us?
So,
What
the fact is that his two brothers that are doing all these interviews are so energetic, and they're his older brothers.
The one in Chicago is only a year older, so he's 70. Probably still a greeter at Walmart.
Imagine
I
that.
walk into Walmart. My brother's the Pope.
Yeah.
You need a buggy? Or a
Can you
pope?
imagine, though, running around Florida
God bless
and your
you.
brother is the Pope?
There was some dude on TikTok. He's like, my uncle just became the Pope. He used to eat pasta salad at our house.
The average life expectancy of a male in Peru is 71.3.
Oh, shit.
Oh. I go back to
79's
my,
looking better.
I go back to my dollar bet. $1, Bob.
I hope he took care of himself.
What about Rome, Italy? He spent a lot
It's
of
like
time there too.
117.
If you want to talk Italians, they live forever.
Yeah,
Mediterranean diet.
pasta and wine.
Malort does not count.
81.4 years for Italians. A whole 10 years. It's
Yeah.
10 years.
10 years better. All right, and then we'll check the American number too while you're working. Dakota, thanks for coming, man. This is exciting having you back in. How's
Glad
how's
to be here.
school?
I'm finished up except for my math problem.
Well, let's solve it together.
Math
Yeah.
problem.
Did you show your work?
I vote Bones solves it.
Let's bring your TI-83 calculator.
No, just the cell phone. It is what it is. No, last week was my last week of classes.
How did that feel?
Weird, man.
Pass.
Weird, man. Yeah. I've Dean's List all semesters, so there's something to be said there.
So when do you walk?
I can't yet. I haven't passed my math.
Oh.
When do you take the math class?
When
Yeah.
I don't
shall
know. I
you
sent
walk?
an email out. It's not a class. It's just a test.
you have one thing you have to do.
I'm attempting to test out.
This
Of the math.
is this the one that Corey Crizzo was going to help you with? That's the one it was. It was the
Yep.
legislators
Yep.
episode because he said he was
They
going to
can't.
he was going to put his thumbs on the scale for you.
Listen, there's nothing we can do. It's not Ivy Tech's fault. I've come to accept it. That it's not Ivy Tech's fault. It's not part of their what I took
Damn
is not
education system.
what I took is not part of their
This
curriculum.
is Joe
for
Biden.
this
Is this for
degree.
the year that you spent at Trump University? Is those credits not rolling over? Is that why?
No,
He
this
just
is
doesn't have
from-
enough commas for those credits to roll over.
I wouldn't have to worry about it if I had tried
You
at pre-cal
if you were
in high school.
Katarian, it would have counted.
If I had tried in my college prep pre-calculus class, I would have gotten the credit. But at that point, I already knew that I was not going to go to college. So I quit.
And here you are.
Here I am, paying for it.
Tides turned.
Made a liar of
11 years later,
Oh,
Paying
11
for it.
years.
What, are you 32 now?
29, baby.
Oh.
Last December.
Hold up. Do we have everyone in this age bracket here? 20s, 30s, 40s,
40s.
50s?
Oh,
As he points to Forrest Plank.
Yeah, normally
I
it's
am
me.
still in my 40s. I'm still in the bottom half of the 40s.
Forrest is
Really?
starting to get red.
Yes.
Have you looked at yourself in the mirror?
Yes.
You
Pure
look
anger.
every bit of 49.
Just
That-
pure
that is-
anger coming
that
from
is-
Forrest.
That is years.
How old are you, Bones?
36.
36.
The best part about the Bones backstory is that he and Mark Poltz went to school together, elementary school
What?
in Rushville,
Yeah.
Indiana.
Is Mark Foltz 36?
I would
Yeah.
hope so. Well, Bones may have been held
He's
back.
probably
a couple
like
times.
34.
I think
You serious?
I was pushed forward actually. I have gone a week and
I
a half
thought
without
that-
smoking, and no one's
No
died
cigarettes
yet.
at all?
No cigarettes at all. You two are fucking pushing it.
I thought that
Why didn't you tell me this before I chose my seat?
You chose it the last 2 times. I can't help it. You're not
Just used to it now. All right. Well, good things. Zach, did you get an answer on the average death age of an American male?
77.
it's gone down.
Really?
81 for women.
More than Peruvian.
It's gone down.
The Peruvian one that's a tough number.
Yeah.
I wonder if I'd like to see, like, to really see that broken down.
79
Is it
looking
like,
better and better?
is it like there's a small group that are like 95, 100, and there's a bunch that like, 50s, that's all they're doing.
Is that
Yeah.
because of all the
Like the-
cocaine down there?
I
I think it's
just
a
also,
very desolate, poor place.
I, would
Oh,
say-
And
I
so-
imagine it's also like one of those places where you can get bit by something, you can get attacked, eaten, whatever.
Yeah, but if you look at America, though,
Not
you
like
have
Australia
like the
quite.
Palm
Sounds like
Springs
Florida.
area that's like 95. Then you come to Midwest and it's
South
mid
side of
60s.
Chicago. Not as
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
and today it's so muggy today.
Literally anywhere that it snows, there's like, you're not going to live 5 extra years. If it snows where you live, you're dying young.
Yep.
Sorry, bud.
Shoveling
Wow.
snow.
Anybody here think they'll live to 77?
That's why the Midwest
Sure
is so
hope.
nice.
77? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, yes. I think
Yeah.
so.
I don't want to.
It's because he hasn't.
Go buy a pack of cigarettes.
That's just the lack of
Shit starts
nicotine.
going
dog.
downhill. Then it's like, yeah, no.
Sunday, I'm going to get
It starts going downhill at 40.
I'm going to get you a pack of Virginia
That's about the
Slims.
age where you stop giving a shit.
Bones is over there.
Oh, You say whatever you wanna
that
say.
age started a long time ago.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to see you age.
I don't know if you'll be around long enough for that, you old ass.
Final thoughts, Zach Burcham?
Okay, I'm going to tell one of the stories from the weekend I thought was hilarious. So Jeremiah and Sarah didn't get recognized much, but Kevin and Libby got recognized from being on the news like 3 or 4 times in the next like 2 hours after we left. And one of them was as we were standing outside the administrative building in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, watching people come and go. This guy walks out and he says, "Hey, I saw you guys on the news this morning." His voice sounded kind of familiar. It was kind of distinct. And like I said, we'd heard this in the restaurant. We'd been at Charlie Brown's, whatever. And then he's like, "Oh yeah," he's giving him a hard time. He's like, "You guys got on the news for free. I have to pay to be on the news." I was like, "What is he talking about?" He's like, "I might have to give you a royal spa." And then I realized at that moment that he was the Royal Spa guy. He's the guy who does the ads for Royal Spa.
Bob Dapper.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say it was like Andy Moore.
No. Oh, I'd recognize Andy Moore. He gets on his own. He does some of his own. No, but what I found so hilarious and like a little bit sad is this guy knows that that's his thing, and that you don't know who he is until he says it. So he says it.
Royal
I bet. Oh, yeah. He had to drop it because Libby's like, "I think that's the Royal Spa guy." He's like, "I might be the Royal Spa guy or whatever." He goes into it, whatever. But I was like, this guy. Now, I give him credit though. He knows that how the human brain works, and he knows that okay, they're going to recognize my voice, but they're not going to know where they hear it from unless I say Royal Spa, and then boom, they've got it. But at the same time, he did it like just randomly to people in front of the admin building at the Speedway.
Bob Dapper's in the chat right now, very upset.
I bet he is. Yeah, we did go from 4 to 5. But I was just like, seriously, like he had to do it. It was kind of funny, but I was kind of like, huh.
You also got a Dave Calabro sighting.
Yeah. Your mother-in-law
That
called
made
him.
your day.
Yeah. Well, apparently I found out that Jeremiah's in-laws, his mother-in-law's parents are the reason why we even have to deal with Dave. Because apparently they took Dave under their wing a long time ago. And if not that, then Dave might have just disappeared into the abyss. But he thanked him. He did like a cameo. People know what the cameo is, like the video thing. He did that for Libby right then and there for her mom.
Really?
Wished her a happy birthday. So Dave was very nice. He if anybody wants to know, you talked about the news person turning themselves on. Dave is Dave. Off the mic, on the mic, that's Dave. He talks like that all the time. So he was very Dave for her and was very nice and polite. So he was.
Dave was Dave and Zach was angry.
Yeah.
Zach wanted to go back.
Well,
to
because
his
I've been
camper.
standing outside because Jeremiah and Sarah went in to get some stuff done.
I
and
had
they
to
got-
pick up Bones and Forrest
and
tickets.
it's the equivalent of going in and they found the slowest checkout lane. Like we just watched entire groups of people walk in and out, and we're like, well, they'll get out here eventually. And then I got Dave and I got the Royal Spa guy. So
The ticket printer was broken.
yeah.
Was the problem.
Well, you point out apparently they have 8 million printers because
Every
and
ticket's
this
a
is
different
true.
width.
You don't think about it, but if you go to the Speedway and you're aware of how Speedway works, the 500 tickets are one size, GP tickets are another size, parking passes are a different size, like qualification tickets are a different size, carb day tickets are probably the same size as
The
like
race ticket
GP
size.
tickets, yeah, whatever. But like, so these are all different printers with different paper running through them, and so it sounds like a bit of a nightmare.
Why are they
but-
still printing tickets?
Okay, first of all, don't even because
Do not go to a digital 500 ticket.
they will not. Yeah, because I can introduce you to a friend who could show you a picture of his. He has a framed thing at home with all of his 500 tickets dating back to the 60s, and they're commemorative tickets. People collect them for the 100th running. Yeah, for the 100th running, they were plastic.
I've got 2 sets of my.
They were
20 tickets.
hard plastic tickets.
Yes.
So yeah, people keep them. Like I don't ever get rid of them. A lot of them. I buy a lanyard, throw them in a lanyard. They're still in the lanyard. So I have tickets going back into the 90s. So yeah, that's why they do that. The other tickets aren't that nice or anything, but the 500 tickets specifically are very nice tickets, and people want them that way.
The Indianapolis Colts season ticket holders get a commemorative ticket at the beginning of the year, and they get a digital ticket for everything after that.
Yeah, so even they get like
they mail
at
you a
least
commemorative
something,
ticket
yeah.
so you have something.
I haven't opened my envelope for this year. Are the tickets embossed?
I
haven't opened mine either.
I don't think so. You haven't opened yours?
Yours is right there.
Those are bonuses tickets.
No.
I thought it said Plank.
Forrest.
I haven't
Those are
opened
Forrest
my-
tickets.
I haven't opened my famous blue envelope.
These are his Boss Hog sponsorship tickets.
Yep.
I don't think that they're
It's my
embossed.
payment for doing the podcast.
Yeah.
The Boss Hog of Liberty podcast is sponsoring lap 33 of the Indianapolis 500. We're not the Grand Prix anymore. We don't have the Crescencio Grand Prix. We are lap 33, turn 3 of the Indy 500.
Moving on now.
Wow.
We have 1/4 of one lap.
Don't
in
look
the
at the
race.
corporate credit card this month, okay?
Yeah, you're not going to want to look at the statement.
Just know it'll be okay.
But your Patreon donations go a long way, guys. No, that was paid out of the private funds of the Morrell family. If you look at the program, it says Boss Hog of Liberty podcast, and Sarah and Jeremiah Morrell have that one there. So when you buy your program, you can check it out.
We could have put Dakota's name in there too.
Miss Dakota is not aware.
I wasn't aware at all.
They have laps.
Yeah.
What's a lap?
They have a turn?
There's swimming. How many
There's more than
turns
one
are there?
turn.
We were at the Indians game on Sunday on Mother's Day, and they have the JW Marriott all done up, and Jackson was
Do.
looking at it because Jackson, I don't know why, is obsessed with Mountain Dew. I think it's because he knows he's not allowed to have it.
It is like the worst stuff.
So it's like,
But it tastes good.
a kid, they want what they can't have. So he's like, look at that Mountain Dew. I bet I could drink all that. And then
it's like 25 stories tall.
I know. So then he starts talking about the car, and I was like, yeah. I was telling him.
Was he talking about an 86 Camaro T-top with his Mountain Dew?
There's a
Trans
car
Am.
outside the
There's a
building.
car
Oh.
beside the
Oh,
building.
yeah, there is two there.
And I was like, yeah, buddy, there's the biggest race in the whole world. It happens here in Indianapolis. And he's like, wow, can I go? I was, no.
You just crush his dreams.
No, I didn't. He moved on in 2
Uncle
seconds.
Jer.
Hey, listen. Give me those tickets back. I'm taking
Yeah.
Dakota and his kid.
Yeah, buddy, I'll
he-
take you to Mountain Lawn. This is
This is the Indy
It's
500.
just like the Indy 500.
We have the Indy 500 at home.
the May 500.
Hey, Mountain Lawn's Fan Appreciation Day is pretty awesome. It's really cool for the kids.
It's a big event. I'm glad we have it here. Anything else, Zach?
No.
All right, Mr. Bones.
All right, it is Preakness. Second leg of the Triple Crown this weekend.
So we don't have. It's not journalism.
Do we have journalism?
Journalism's in and Sandman is in. Sovereignty is
is
skipping
not.
it.
Yes.
What the hell?
What post position did Sandman get this time?
Sandman got 7. Well, I had
Coming out of the middle?
There's only 9 horses.
The Preakness is a much smaller
It dropped to 9.
number of races.
It was always
number
9.
of horses.
Really?
We had 9 horses. So if we want to try to earn the money back
Oh,
we
God.
lost at the Derby, take these numbers down. We're doing the same bet. 2, 6, 8, 9. We're going to box them.
Box it?
Yep. It'll be the same $12 bet.
So who are the horses?
That would be Journalism. It will be River Thames.
Was River Thames in the Derby?
He was not.
Okay.
That will be Clever Again.
I don't recognize that name.
That's a first-time runner.
Okay.
Didn't run in the Derby. And then Gossiger.
Can you give me a spelling on that?
Gosger.
Can you
Is Journalism the favorite?
Can you put it in a sentence?
No.
I think it's spelling bee.
Does that have a Latin root?
Gee, you
Well,
fucked
use
right
that
off.
innocent.
You're really pushing this. Like, I'm trying my hardest here.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And the Preakness, of course, is run in
Maryland.
Baltimore area, right?
Yes.
And the
100
final one will be the Belmont Stakes.
Run at
Yes.
Saratoga this year.
Run
Saratoga, New York.
As it was last year.
Yep.
This is the 150th running of the
Are they
Preakness.
planning to run Belmont at Saratoga again next year?
No, Belmont should be open.
Well,
And Belmont is actually in
New York.
Belmont, New York. What happened to the place?
They're remodeling it, redoing it.
Louisville had a full remodel, and they just did it between races.
Yes. I think they're doing everything at Belmont.
New dirt.
And then I think a hockey stadium went in the parking lot.
Got to bring in the dirt.
It's good work if you can get it.
I visited Saratoga for the first time this year.
It was
It's a
there
cool
last
place.
year.
I can't believe they
Saratoga's
find
a
the
cool town.
guy who
Yeah,
won.
I would
like to go.
You come in off the highway and
It's fine.
boom, the horse track, like
Yeah, we'll talk about
turn 4 of the horse track is literally on the highway,
Oh.
and the horse barns are across the highway.
Dakota is reporting that there's a scandal around the Kentucky Derby.
it. Yeah, they find that.
They-
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Jockey whipped Sovereignty too many times.
times.
Is
Like
there a
9
pitch
times
count?
instead of
Yes.
6.
You're only allowed to hit 6 times coming home. And I think he hit, 7,
I thought it was 9.
9,
Lifetime ban.
$62,000.
$62,000 and missed 2 races. If Sovereignty didn't win, he would have lost his $250 riding mount fee.
I thought the jockey got like 10% of the winnings,
He does get 10% of the winnings.
which is
He also-
2.4 million.
I think the fine was a certain percentage of his cut of the winnings.
Yeah, it was like a third
It's like
or
62,000.
It netted out to be $62,000.
Yeah. But every jockey, whether you're running in the Derby or at Indiana, you get you get the horse back across the line, say win last place, you get $100 to $250 just for safely getting the horse back.
If
across.
they have to send your horse to heaven coming off turn 4, you get nothing.
We've had a horse been pulled up before that jockey didn't get his riding fee that day. Seems unfair.
So what about like
also had a
I forget how long it was ago.
$30,000 fee that we had to pay to get the horse to the hospital too. So
This is your horse
At least
ownership?
it went to
Yeah.
the hospital.
So what about like
You know, a bullet's $4, right?
he's living a very good life in Florida right now.
so who was the filly that ran the Derby
He's a
a
degenerate.
few years ago that they had to put down
8 bells.
after?
8 bells.
So did the jockey collect the fee then? Because
Because the
brought
horse,
her home.
It's like
horse
J.R.
technically
Hildebrand.
finished. She took a bad step after the
Yeah,
finish line.
like in the first turn.
Yeah.
Celtics 96, Knicks 76, 10 minutes to play.
There
in
will
the
be a
fourth.
game 6 back at the Garden, and that's going to be ugly.
Listen, I don't gamble on sports.
Pacers want
but
this series to
we'll
go
get
as far
deep
out as
into
they
the
want,
horses.
just to let the two teams
I'm
wear
still
each
old
other out.
school in that fact.
Mr. Plank, in your remaining years before Bones have you buried.
I mean, I'm knocking on death's door right now.
You about got that AARP card.
Only if
coming
you
the
live in
mail.
Peru.
I do.
you got any final thoughts for it?
How's Medicaid?
Already be
Part A or
funded.
Part B. It doesn't matter. By the time I get there, there won't be such a thing. Parting thoughts. It's a fun time to be in Indiana. We got good basketball going on right now. We got good racing.
You got the Fever, you got the Pacers, you got the Racers, Pacers, and Fever.
I mean, you could just say you got the fever.
A racing pacing fever.
Yeah. So I think the Pacers organization is really capitalizing on the Speedway now. I got the with checkers surrounding the Pacer logo. They have a shirt that says Indiana Pacers, established 1967 or whatever. with the wing and wheel in the middle of it.
That's fantastic.
They have
It was in the merch store at the arena.
Yep, at the team store. They have
the field house.
They have like a Get Revved Up shirt with an IndyCar on it. So,
do they still have in the concourse the big IMS display?
If they do, it's on the lower level, and I was not there Sunday.
Yeah, it was always in the lower level back in the day. It's been a long time since I've been to a Pacers game, but it was just whatever the concourse is that had like section 17 and 18 was always that was the IMS one, lower level.
Yeah, I think it is still there.
Very good. All right. Final thoughts from me. We are back on Tuesday next week. Constantly just jumping all around the calendar. I think it's going to be mid-June before we're really back to a standard Thursday schedule. So buckle up, everybody. But you get 5 Boss Hogs this month. That's phenomenal.
So who else?
I broke the toilet.
Tuesday is I don't know. We'll find out. We've checked. I'm pretty sure Zach could just host the show if he needs to.
Ugh.
He'll be fine.
Man, I'm gonna have veto power on who's on with me. I'm picking and choosing some people.
It's just going to be Zach and the Dale Earnhardt cutout, and he's going to have a quiet night alone.
Yeah, just lock the door
Full
behind
conversation.
What was that, Dale? We got to wrap it up.
Lock the door behind me. I did see though.
Really feel like we're hitting a wall here, Dale.
Yeah, one thing that I found a little interesting is they announced I didn't pay attention to this. They haven't really done a 2-seater before the 500 the last couple of years, and this year they are doing a 2-seater.
Yep,
and it's
2019 is the last time they did it.
Tom Brady
Being driven by
Jimmy Johnson.
So
NASCAR
that's
Jimmy Johnson.
Tom Brady's appearance. I thought for sure Tom Brady would wave the green flag.
And I just love the fact that somebody immediately pointed out that putting Tom Brady in a car and parading him in front of what probably is still a couple 100,000 Hoosiers is going to be like fun because they're just going to boo him.
I don't know.
That's what
I
we
think
do.
everyone's come. They've turned the corner. On Tom
They'll just
Brady
boo
now.
him for fun anyway.
I mean,
What-
What
his
has
son on
he
the
done
mouth.
that's made him turn the corner?
because
Got divorced from his supermodel wife.
he went to
Yeah, but she
Tampa
left
Bay.
him.
He went to Tampa Bay and he got away from.
With the karate teacher.
he and Bill Belichick do not have a good
Yeah,
relationship.
he got away from Belichick and he took a crap team and won a Super Bowl down there and just had fun doing it.
He still made his
Man.
son kiss him.
I still think they'll boo
I'm
him.
with Dakota. Well, F that guy, right?
Kind of weird.
They'll still boo him.
But
Perfect
I
jaw
mean,
line.
you have Gronk.
If I were him, I'd
Grand
be a little.
marshalling the snake pit.
If I were him, though, I'd be a little concerned. Like, I hope Jimmy gets some practice
Yeah, Jimmy was.
He doesn't have a good record in it.
because I did see a joke. And I really like Jimmy Johnson in the series, but somebody says, "Hey, I bet y'all wish Jimmy was in the series and he giving you his at least once a race spin and caution."
If Jimmy spins out in the pace in the 2-seater and crashes in turn 3, my race will be made.
that will be
Tom and Jimmy crash in turn.
That's our
3.
turn.
that's ESPN right there.
Yeah.
we're making Sports Center with that.
And Tom Brady will never shut up about it.
No,
The time he hit the wall.
I saw that and I was like, well, I mean, that's cool.
Because Jimmy did spin every damn time he took a car out.
Yeah, he did. He was very consistent, and he didn't hit a lot. He didn't cause anybody else any problems. But you were like, "Oh, there goes Jimmy in his spin today." You know,
He crashed in his only Indy 500.
Yeah,
I guess Dalton Kellett wasn't available.
Do we think we
and
have
that's a
another?
name I hadn't even thought about.
We think we have another celebrity appearance for the 500.
Yeah, I think there will still be more celebrities announced.
Have they announced who's?
I don't think we
who's
know
the
who's
green flag
doing
yet?
American the Beautiful. I don't think we know who's doing Green Flag.
I was talking
National
about
anthem.
the biggest.
God
celebrity.
Bless America is some opera singer.
Oh, really?
Dakota Davis will not be
The
making
biggest.
an appearance.
I pray that if Orange Cheeto comes to the race, they keep him in the turn 2 suites and he doesn't interact with the rest of the world. Because if he does,
I thought it was already announced.
They're going
that
to
he
go
was coming.
full on limo.
He was invited.
parading around the
Roger-
track.
he was
invited
invited by Roger Penske when Penske went to claim all of his trophies in April. If he shows up and they make us go through the insane security,
I won't,
race day is going to be miserable.
I won't get into the track until 8:45.
Especially if you're Forrest and you're trying to drive your car into the track.
Yeah.
You are going to be
You got to drive into the
in
track?
trouble. He's very wealthy. He's going to clean his house, cut his grass,
Why do you drive?
massage his old bones.
Don't you have a driver?
I
In your
am the
Bentley?
driver. I am the driver.
Oh,
He'll take. Well, you going to take the Maserati or the or
oh,
the
you're just
or the Denali?
The 911's more
I
appropriate.
have neither.
Are the rolls going in? You think the rolls in there?
I'll probably take the vehicle, as one of my daughter's friends affectionately refers to as the hoe, short for the
It's
top.
very kind of you to let your Maybach driver off for the day.
You don't bust out the Ferrari F40 for this, do you?
Got to take the family.
I leave that one in the garage. I don't want it to get dirty.
At least you're not taking it into Hertz.
You can't take it on I-70.
He's got
Never survive.
he's got the Maybach 6.4.
All right, that's enough of this. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Dakota fell asleep an
It's
hour ago.
well past Forrest's
Celtics-
bedtime.
Celtics 99, Knicks 79. Probably going to a game 6.
He's going to miss bingo tomorrow.
It is my bedtime.
We'll be back in 6 days, and we'll know who the poll sitter is. See that.